And I'm making this statement to call out this Russian activity. And to President Putin, I say, we see you. We see your activity over our cables and our pipelines. And you should know that any attempt to damage them will not be tolerated and will have serious consequences.
Now hold up a minute. Is the UK about to go to war with Russia? Putin, how dare you? You're trying to capitalize off this war with America and Iran? Yeah, let's get into this, guys. It's looking crazy.
I'm revealing details of a recent military operation undertaken by Russia. And in doing so, I'm doing this to expose the continuing Russian activity that threatens us in the UK and to highlight our constant readiness to respond. In the last few weeks, while the eyes of many were trained on the Middle East, the UK, in partnership with Norway and other allies, have responded to increased Russian activity in the Atlantic, north of the UK.
Now here's the Defense Secretary of the UK, and he's saying in these last few weeks, Russia and Putin have been getting more and more close on trying to spy on the UK's infrastructure when it comes to the North Atlantic and the sea. Now Russia have been doing this for a while, but it's getting a bit dangerous now because they can see that America are starting to lose hope with Europe and Britain. So they think they can capitalize off this. Okay, Putin, we'll see.
This operation involved a Russian Akula-class attack submarine and a concurrent deployment of 2 specialist submarines from Gugi. That's Russia's main directorate for deep sea research. And last November, I outlined how these Gugi units, including the spy ship Yantar, are vessels directed by President Putin to conduct hybrid warfare activities against the UK and our allies, specifically around critical undersea infrastructure. And for the first time today, we're releasing images of the Gugi base and of these vessels. They're designed to survey underwater infrastructure during peacetime and sabotage it in conflict.
Okay, Mr. Putin, so you want to play water games, do you? You want to play water games? We'll drown you in that water. Leave our ocean and go back to Russia. We don't want you here. It's been a while now. Putin and Russia have been plotting and spying on the UK and Europe. But since this Iran war, they're starting to get more and more close. Now their plan is to destroy us underwater, wiping out all of our systems and making the UK have a blackout and crashing our energy supplies. That's what he thinks he can do. But we'll continue because, yeah, he got ran out of that water.
In response to the Russian submarines, I can confirm that I deployed our armed forces to track and to deter any malign activity by these vessels. A Royal Navy warship and Royal Air Force P-8 aircraft, alongside allies, ensured that the Russian submarines were monitored 24/7. The Akula submarine subsequently retreated home, having been closely tracked throughout, and we continue to monitor the 2 Gugi submarines in and around wider UK waters. Our armed forces left them in no doubt that they were being monitored, that their movements were not covert, as President Putin planned, and that their attempted secret operation had been exposed. Those Gugi submarines have now left UK waters and headed back north. And this operation, which lasted more than a month, has now concluded. Our aircraft flew over 450 hours. Our frigate covered several thousand nautical miles, and 500 British personnel were involved in the response. And I'm making this statement to call out this Russian activity. And to President Putin, I say, we see you. We see your activity over our cables and our pipelines. And you should know that any attempt to damage them will not be tolerated and will have serious consequences.
Yeah, Putin, we see you. And anything you do, there will be a response immediately. I do not care if Russia is a bigger country. The people over here in the UK will stand up. 100%. I dare you, and you will see. What's happening now in Iran with the countries that have been oppressed? They're standing up. So if you do try Putin, you're going to see what's happening. So take them ships back to Russia and just take it easy. Now guys, why is this happening now? I'll tell you. It's because of the war with Iran, and Putin can obviously see that America and Europe and Britain are starting to get further apart from each other than we ever have been. And it's all Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu's fault. But I tell you one thing, Putin, you'll make a big mistake if you try and do that. Now here's a video of Keir Starmer explaining he's not going to get involved in this war with Iran, and I actually agree with him for the first time. We are not being run by Israel. We have not got our whole politicians blackmailed in Epstein files. They tried it with Prince Andrew. They tried to get the UK involved in the war by releasing those Epstein files with the pictures of Prince Andrew. But I'll tell you what, British people don't really care about the royal family anymore. So you got to try a bit harder, Bibi Netanyahu.
Donald Trump is furious with you. He's made that very explicit. Is your relationship with him now in tatters?
I've acted as you would expect of a British Prime Minister, which is by being absolutely focused on what is our national interest. And that's why I've applied my principles and my values throughout. And my principles and values made sure that our decisions were that we wouldn't get involved in any action without a lawful basis, without a viable, thought-through plan. That was the right position for the United Kingdom. And of course, that has included us taking action, collective self-defence. I'm here to say thank you to some of those who have been defending our allies and British interests in the region. But the principles of not getting dragged into this war, principles of always saying the UK will act only on a lawful basis and only if there's a viable long-term plan, they're the right principles. And as I say, I'm the British Prime Minister. I act in the British national interest, and nothing, but nothing is going to deflect me from that.
So it's a crazy time in the world right now. The West is falling apart. Allies are falling apart. And who is it to blame? Israel. 100% blame Israel for everything. Right now, Europe and the UK are starting to decide who they should really put as their #1 ally. And they might start looking at China being their ally next. Because America are just doing us dirty at this point. Because we don't want to go to war for Israel. They're saying they'll leave NATO. They won't protect us if Russia tries to invade. So yeah, it's getting crazy, guys. But I tell you this, Putin, the people over here will stand up. And you can bring your Russian men to Britain. Them Russian men will get run out of the country immediately.
And I'm making this statement to call out this Russian activity. And to President Putin, I say, we see you. We see your activity over our cables and our pipelines. And you should know that any attempt to damage them will not be tolerated and will have serious consequences.
I'll be honest, this defense of secretary is what a defense of secretary should look like, not Mr. Pete Hegseth, the drunk over there in America. I like this guy's energy. And yeah, Putin, we see you. I dare you try it. You'll see. Dark Truth Unfiltered. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.